Welcome to the Mike Kellar Show. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Coach, you had a bye week last week. How'd you feel the bye week went?
I thought we got a lot. It was much needed. I thought we got a lot of good work done. Practiced a lot of situational football. Got to rest the kids a little bit, but by the same token, got to have some very intense practices. Obviously, with the start of our season, those things could go a couple different ways. I was excited to see that we were intense and we were competitive in practice, and you hope all that translates into the game. I thought we had a very good training camp, and it really did translate into the first couple games. So I know as a coach, the only thing you know to do is go to practice and go back to work, and as long as the practices are being spirited and competitive and guys are learning, then I'm going to look at that as a positive.
And you mentioned last week too, a couple of the guys were dinged up a little bit. Was this bye week good for those guys to be able to get healthy again?
Yeah, we had a couple, bumps and bruises, ankles. I mean, we still got some key guys that are out, and they may be out long term, but that's just something that we're just going to have to deal with through the season.
And now looking to Fairmont State, a familiar face at quarterback for them, Will Atkins. He's here a few years ago. So far, 61% completion percentage, 468 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. Yeah. What have you seen out of him so far?
Just what we saw here. Accurate guy, could really throw the football. First time I ever saw Will play, he was at I think it's Seneca Valley down in Charleston or Huntington area, and he was in the state championship game. I was the OC at West Liberty then, and I remember then thinking he's a big kid who could throw the football. And being here with us, he was a big kid who could throw the football, and being at Fairmont, they're doing a lot of good things with him. They're very good at receiver. They're doing some RPOs. They're getting the ball out of his hands, and they're playing to his strengths.
How was that facing a guy that, he was in your QB room. How was that facing him?
I'll let you know Thursday. It's different. I had to deal with that as a player. I've seen several guys go through that. I think it's more normal now than it used to be. It's something with the transfer portal that you're going to see more and more. It'll be interesting for both Will and for our kids. A lot of guys know each other. And anytime it's Fairmont Glenville, it's like when I was at Cal and IUP, a lot of these kids were recruited by both teams, have been in both places, and know both schools really well.
And when you talk about the offense at Fairmont, head coach there now was the OC last year at Charleston. You faced them last year. Do you see a lot of similarities in the offense they run now?
I do. The personnel's a little different.
Yeah.
Charleston's quarterback's, he's very mobile and makes the secondary play. Fairmont tries to stay on schedule a lot more, but it's still the same deal. Both are really good, well-coached offensive lines. They use their tight ends very creatively. They will use multiple tight end sets, very good outside with one-on-one routes with their receivers, with slants and goes, and they have some built-in RPO stuff, and they need good accurate quarterbacks, and both are really predicated with having very good runners. And I think once you get that run game going, my guess would be once they get their run game going, then they like to use all the bells and whistles to come off that run game.
And now flipping the sides to our offense, it's no question that the turnovers have been an issue throughout the first 2 games. What's your plan on minimizing that this week?
Well, we went back to the basics. You try to keep the main thing. The main thing is taking care of the football, and it's something we haven't done a very good job of. Some of that has been situational, trying to force the ball down in games, and try to get our mentality of, listen, you're down in games. Let's not swing for the 3-run homer and there's no one on base. Let's get some guys on base, and then to use a baseball analogy. So kind of that's why we practice so much situational football. Kind of change our mindset a little bit in those situations, and then ultimately it'd be nice if you weren't down in games. Defense plays better. We block a little bit better. The quarterback doesn't force. There's enough culpability to lay everywhere with the turnover thing. Ultimately, it's on the quarterback holding on to the football, and you can't have bad center quarterback exchanges, quarterback running back exchanges, quarterback to wide receiver exchanges. We just got to play cleaner.
And does that minimizing the turnovers on offense kind of move into the defense playing a little bit better, where they're not on the field as much, better field position? Does that move into that?
Sure. Both. It's a team game, right? All 3 phases have to play well together. So if it's one area, it's almost easier if it was one area or one person you could change and fix. But it's a team game, and it ultimately starts with the coach. We got to coach them better, and we got to put them in better situations, and they got to play better.
And now it's a battle for the bit. It's a big rivalry game for both sides. How do you handle the emotions of your players? It's a night game, which they haven't played in a while,
right?
And it's also a rivalry game. So how do you handle that?
You try. This is we're talking about. At the end of the day, it's a game of execution. We have these conversations ultimately. Your team's not playing with a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. Well, they're getting beat. They're getting beat physically. And it's hard to play with energy and emotion when you're getting beat. Energy is a positive thing. Emotion's a positive thing. Being able to control that energy and control those emotions are a positive thing. If you could have energy and emotion on a Wednesday practice, surely you could have it on a game day.
Yeah.
You know, it's controlling that energy and that emotions. And ultimately, like especially last week, I thought our emotions were good, but it was a nervousness. You know, the way in your question was, how do you handle all those emotions that are going to come with Thursday night? You tell them to keep the main thing the main thing. It's about executing ball plays. It's about executing the defense that's called. It's about doing your job. It's about doing your assignment to the best of your ability. If you do that, then you can control the emotions.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on today, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for watching the Mike Kellar Show.